Welcome, welcome, one and all, to Cosmic Convos. I am Chanda Sparkles, your galactic host, and I'm so happy that you are here today with us. We are going to be traversing the eclipse energies of the fall season, or the spring season for my folks down under. I love this man that's joining us today. His name is David Hauser, and he's an author of 3 books, amazing books, very hot books, by the way. You definitely want to check those out. We'll be talking to him about that. He's an astrologer extraordinaire out of California. He's a world traveler, and he is an amazing, amazing host. I'm telling you. And I've got something coming through in my ear. It's myself. What is going on? Hold on. I cannot do that. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Good grief. That was kind of crazy. I had myself talking to myself in the background, and I know why. Hold on a second. This is live television, guys. This is just sometimes what happens. You know, if I have it going over here on the other pages, it just comes through in my ear. And that's just what we do. Okay, now I don't hear myself talking. David Hauser is coming in to join us today for Cosmic Combos. We're talking about the eclipse season. We have 2 eclipses coming up, one next week, a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces, the 12th house of the zodiac, the house of hidden wisdoms. I believe we're going to probably have some hidden wisdom coming in through today. And then we also have a solar eclipse of legalities coming up in Libra 2 weeks after that. This is a time of deep transformation, transition, metamorphosis. And so we're going to dive deep today into all that is eclipse season. And we're excited to see all of you folks already here in the chat. Don't forget that you can get yourself in on a $300 value Virgo season giveaway. All of the information and the details are below for you to win with our sponsor, Cats Unity. Cats Unity is a 6th generation tea leaf reader. This woman is amazing. She's right here out of Corpus Christi, Texas, where I'm from. And you definitely want to get in on that huge package. All kinds of goods, crystals. You're even going to win your own tea leaf cup to learn how to read tea leaves. And you get a session from the tea leaf master. What? Can you believe it? We're doing that giveaway next Tuesday. You must like, subscribe, and comment on the replay video on YouTube. Only replayed videos comments are gathered for entry. Thank you so much for everyone being here. I see you all jumping in. Florell, Donna's here. Kelsey's here. Hey, Jamie Lynn, our galactic wisdom Mayan calendar guru. We were just backstage. David and I were just talking about the galactic wisdoms of the Mayans and you know, really how this is a big cycle. So you stay tuned. He's got a lot to say on that. Kelly is here. What's up? So glad that your daughter. Yeah, cool. Awesome. Okay. I see more of you loading in here. Hey, Donna. Awesome. Awesome. Very cool. Okay. Thanks for being here. Out of Pennsylvania. Yeah. Let us know where you're coming in from. Please let us know where you're in. Yeah. Kentucky. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, without further ado, because this just is a little video 1-hour program, y'all know sometimes how I like to take it an hour or 2 or 3, you know how that goes. But just an hour program. So without further ado, let's welcome in Frank and get this thing going. What's up, David Hauser? How are you, my friend? Thank you for being here. I think I'm having sound issues because I can't hear you again for some reason. Tell us in the chat if you're able to hear David, if it's on me. I can't hear you again for some reason. It says you're unmuted. Now you're unmuted. In the chat, do you guys hear David? Because I don't, for some reason. This has never happened before. How strange. Now I can hear you.
Yeah,
Ah,
okay.
there you are. Okay, now I can hear you. Perfect. And they couldn't hear you either. Okay, good. Good.
This is
Okay.
live TV.
It
What I was
is.
saying, thank you, Chandra, because I love and adore you so much. What you're doing to help our collective consciousness become brightly aware is just something sublime and wonderful, and I embrace so much. And thank you for being there for our cause and mission.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. It's not like we chose this. I've been doing this for a while, and a long time ago. You've been doing it longer than me, of course, but I mean, for a long time, I felt very alone in all of this, and then really started to go through multiple second, third, and even fourth awakenings when I hit about 2008 and then 2012. And being able to see, sense, feel, smell. As a kid, I was like, Mom, I'm smelling coffee. I want to go see grandma. And that was always my smell. And then when she passed, my whole house will smell like black, dark coffee when she comes around. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, thank you. And tell us about you, David. For those followers that I have, tell us about you. Tell us where you're from. And I always like to ask new people on Cosmic Convos, have you always been this strange?
Yes, yes, I have always been strange. And it is a very lonely adventure, especially from the '60s until the 2000s. But I'm from Marshalltown, Iowa. I'm just a farm boy from a little town of 150 people called Union Witten, and
Oh,
uh, there was just something in my family's blood. I used to, as a small child, and I remember everything. Like most of us, we remember every freaking thing. Like existence is one long day. It's not
yeah.
broken up into things. It's always coexisting with us. So
Yeah.
when I was 4, I used to, watch this blue woman appear in my bedroom every night and sort of hang out with me. And she was downloading. It was all empathetic. You
Mm-hmm.
know, um, I asked my grandfather about that, and he says, "No, you're just dreaming. Check
Yeah.
your eyes, pinch yourself." And so I did, and she was still there.
Yeah.
That was one of the like conundrums. The other
Mm-hmm.
conundrum was I thought everybody saw auras. I thought that was just something human beings did,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I started asking my little playmates, "Do you see the colors change around Robin over there? From sort of this like orangey color back into a brown with a little black coming in it." And they looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah.
So that was the time that I decided I better go incognito.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember as a child, I could turn on my disco ball at will. I could turn on my record player at will. I was a very big performer, midheaven, By the way, let's just make this real clear. I'm a double Scorpio sun in the first house with an Aries moon. And David is a double Sagittarius sun in the first house with an Aries moon, and our moons are conjoined, like literally off by only, I think, like 4 or 5 degrees. So the Aries moon fire, and then he's a master Sagittarius at 29 degrees. That's, if you've been following, that 29 degree I consider mastery. And I consider that, that's he has so much Sag in his chart. And y'all also know that I have a lot of first house Sag, and that I've got my Mercury in Sag, my Neptune in Sag in the first house. So it's kind of all written there in your birth chart. What the fabulous higher conscious, and this is like the first time I saw you out live was with David Palmer, the Leo King. And I was like, "That guy is lit," was the first thing I thought in my head. I was like, "That guy is lit AF." So, anyway, didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, we've had these childhood experiences. So then later in life, did you continue to have those experiences all of your life? Did you have a party downtime like I did, where you just kind of like washed it all away with a bunch of booze and drugs? I don't know what was the
No, no,
journey.
no. That's part of the deal,
Yeah,
because I mean, I became a master when I was 12. I learned how to astro project by taking a hot bath and a cold bath, and then reading the Bible before I went to bed. And that was my ticket to ride. I was popping out the window. My first experience, I remember looking back and seeing myself sleeping, but I wanted to see what I looked like. So I looked
yeah,
in the glass in the window, and I looked like billions of sparklers going off.
right.
And I jumped back into my body with the high ringing and the cold chills and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
want to do this again.
Mm-hmm.
So I got really good at it. And I got really good at a lot of things, like exorcisms or doing astrology or tarot for people.
Well, and
You
you
know,
also study Buddhist teachings. I mean, that's
Buddhism,
very clear in your books. And
Buddhism.
ladies, I'm just telling you right now, you need to get his books. Seriously, I've got two of them over here. You need to get his books because the books not only will expand your consciousness, but they will really put you to bed in a really nice way. They'll make you feel very like almost lovey dovey, like they're very sexual, sacred sexuality type of books. And I really appreciate that being a double Scorpio sun in the first house.
I really understand femininity. What brought me to Buddhism was a picture of White Tara. Some
Mm-hmm.
call her Kuan Lin,
Quinlan,
but
yeah.
I saw White Tara, and I was like, "What?" All these memories started coming back, and the next thing I know, I'm in front of a llama. I'm taking refuge, and everywhere I go, I'm surrounded by Buddhist stuff, but like just comes through synchronicity. So
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
spent many times in the Buddhist view. Certainly the Buddhist view has a better understanding of femininity than the
Yeah.
hierarchical view.
Mhm, mhm.
Because understand that the feminine energy is the vehicle to liberation.
Mhm.
It's not, the woman didn't come from the foot bone, came from the rib, if you're using biblical ideas,
Or
or
we just came from stardust if you're using Chandaisms.
right, or women are connected. They don't have to ascend; they have to
Yeah,
descend. Men have to ascend because they have this wild idea that God's somewhere out there
yeah,
instead of next to him.
yeah, or within him.
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Wow. Well, and I just wanted to
women,
plug your books. You can get them on Amazon, ladies. Definitely check it out. And gentlemen,
I hope
um,
men start reading this. Women get what I'm saying, but this is what men need to get to understand women and what their real, where the real euphoria is in a relationship.
mhm, mhm, mhm. So let's talk about this eclipse season. Before we even dive into this, I understand. So, we're with a very esteemed writer here. So, David, have you written something for us?
I have. And
Okay.
so
Yay.
this lunar eclipse closes doors to outdated narratives that no longer apply to our collective consciousness's mission of compassion, balance, and global unity. Most astrologers would call this one of the weakest eclipses, but they are still operating under the auspices of the old paradigm dualistic view. The new view is holistic and is interpreted through observations who can only be measured with universal facts. The power of intuition, intention, and invention have been the real undercurrents to our human story for millennia, and now it is surfacing and we all feel it, and it's like, vibrant. Look at this is
Yeah.
Pisces. Lunar eclipse is in Pisces. Saturn's in Pisces. The
Neptune's
last,
in Pisces.
yeah,
Whew.
last time this happened was in 1967. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Free love, baby.
yeah,
You
but the
know.
thing was, it was that whole concept was contorted and distorted.
Hmm.
But the essence of that was really unity consciousness. Coming together with divine masculine and feminine to experience the Mahamudra
Hmm.
and to the tantric quantum universe, where we
Yeah.
can be in the throes of everything and nothing.
Right. Where we understand that we are so, so very important and not important at all at the same time.
Exactly.
You know,
Well,
I
this,
believe
this
that.
really,
I'm sorry. I believe that higher consciousness. Like when I think of Pisces and the 12th house, that's it. Higher consciousness. Leave the body. This is when you go. This is when you say adios. This is your out of body experiences. This is remote viewing. This is connecting with your mystic guide team. I channel that collective called the 12. It's made up of all different kinds of galactics, and I've been communicating with them since I was a kid. And I really feel like this is that threshold to bridge more awareness and awakening and opening. And I know for me personally, often what will happen is all of these different changes will come in before the actual astrological mundane eclipse happens. And then I start getting all of these messages to just lay down, just follow, listen to the body. They poke me sometimes. They'll poke me. And I have a light side a light side and a shadow side, and they're coming through. And so they're saying what we need to know is find out which side is yes, which side is no. So when you feel the energies coming in, because they'll come in either side to give you yes or no answers, they'll also indicate through tones, they'll indicate through sound and smell and feel. And all of you that are here, you don't listen to me. You wouldn't be here with David and I if you weren't intergalactic, multidimensional beings. If you weren't, and often I mentor a lot that are just kind of starting to understand all of this. They're just trying to kind of come through all this. And it's like, wow, okay, so the world isn't so, you know, crazy when you start to look at it on a higher galactic way. And all of that is Pisces energy to me.
talk about emotional. I mean, everything that you said just brought, you know, tears to my eyes because, you know, we are the collective consciousness. We have been together always. The Tibetans call it the endless knot. We are all having these same epiphanies and experiences.
Mm.
And you've just like totally underlined what I know our whole tribe is feeling right now. You know,
Mm-hmm.
this connection that is so opulent and joyful and everything that the old paradigm is not.
Yeah.
And we can't stop it. We can't help it. It's not contrived. It's honest.
Mm-mm.
It's just moving through us
Truth.
at the speed of faster than the speed of light because superluminal communication is real and we are
Mm-hmm.
all sensing not only each other but every living thing in the universe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Every
it is,
living thing in the universe. It
yeah.
sometimes becomes a little bit too much. It sometimes becomes, it's like sometimes I have to shut it down. I have to like literally shut it down, like and stop because it becomes a lot for me, and I can imagine for others that are just beginning their journey or have begun their journey like 6-7 years ago, wherever you're at.
Mhm.
And so I just want to hold space and love and compassion for everyone who's going through it because I know this is not easy energy to traverse. It's so emotional. And okay, so I'll tell you what I'm calling the Pisces eclipse. I'm calling it the portal of longing. The
Mm.
portal of longing because there's so many people, they're going to have this feeling of like they want things to be the way they were, or it's that melancholy. There are a lot of longing energies swirling about the collective. I hear the voices sometimes, I feel the energies, and people are in this despair of why can't it be the way it was? Why can't we go back? There's just there, and it's just through this phase. I feel like that's going to kick back, and they'll have more understanding. I think it also has a lot to do with Pluto going back into Capricorn. I got a thing that I'm doing, and I'll tell you real quick, and then I know you want to comment because I can hear you. This Pluto back in Capricorn, me being a double Scorpio, I'm playing with it. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. I'm going because I talk to Pluto a lot. I'm like, okay, so what are we going to burn down to the ground in order to rise again today? Okay, and like literally that's happened all my life constantly. Anyway, so what I'm doing is I'm going back to do something that I used to do like 2 years ago. And I'm going to go and hang out in the Matrix with all the Padre Island neighbors at a luau. And I'm going to be the greeter that lays people. And that's happening on Saturday. I haven't done this in a while because it was just kind of too much. And I mean, you're around a whole bunch of people that are asleep going red or blue. I mean, it's a lot. But I'm going to play. I'm going to let my Sagittarius take the lead. And I'm going to play and have fun and ignite because my guides told me very clearly, it's time for you to come out, Chanda Ann. Okay, that's my middle name. Sometimes they call me by my middle name. It's time for you to come out, Chanda Ann. And that's my little girl to come out to play. And so anyway, I just want to tell you, you can utilize Pluto's transformational metamorphosis, death, restructuring back into whatever house Capricorn is at 29 degrees, where Pluto is currently at. You can utilize that, and it's in my third house of communication and play, so, it makes sense. So I'm just saying, play with those and see, and you may find that your path changes, your timeline shifts. We're constantly changing timelines, right? So I know that was a lot. Sorry.
No, it's great because, there again, you're talking the language that we're all experiencing right now. This is just, being plugged into this wonderful real truth, which is like existence is one long day. And that, loving Pluto. I mean, it's so cool. These new photos or video that they have that pans over the surface of Pluto. It's like, it's beautiful.
It is.
And then they're saying now there's a salt water underneath there, and life is probably happening underneath there. And it's like, when you can love Pluto and play, and believe me, everybody's being told to let their little person out to play, that the bad man's gone and we're done with that karma. And now the little person inside your heart can come out of the corner and come into the world. I got chills saying that. This last 29 degrees of Capricorn, Pluto and Capricorn is like going, so did you get it?
Yeah.
Because if you got, guess what? You're going to be wearing this big smile a lot.
Yeah. And if you didn't get it, you will. I look at Pluto like, and this is what when I say it often, Pluto is, this must transform now or die. And I don't give two sticks. And there's no emotion really there. It's just like, this has to go. Sorry, done. And
how many of my clients have lost everything to miraculously get the better things back. In Buddhism, you walk up to the Lama they give you a silk scarf in the beginning, beautiful white silk scarf, and then you surrender it to the Lama, you give it away. They put love and energy into it, and with a big smile, give it back to you. And that's what's happening with Pluto. And if anybody should understand Pluto, like you, gets it, always got it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about so we think, what do you feel is really coming? I mean, you read about the Pisces eclipse. What do you feel is really coming for the collective? let's just say in between the Pisces eclipse and this, what do you feel is going to be happening around the Pisces eclipse to the solar eclipse? Like, is there anything that you're feeling strongly about what's going to be happening during the in between phase?
Yeah, and the in between phase is us fine tuning that compassion, that empathy, that and touch everything. The new matriarchal banner is I balance.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. High
it makes sense
balance.
that the solar eclipse is going to be in Libra.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like that's what it should be, because we are really, even though 2012 in June when Venus transited the sun, that was really when the new matriarchal epic started. Not
Mm-hmm.
in December like people thought, but in June. So now it's like we're in it, and we're pulling away from that old paradigm. And as we pull away, all of a sudden the light bulbs come on. All of a sudden we remember, how we got to this planet, who we
Mm-hmm.
are,
Mm-hmm.
and embrace it. And the old paradigm will simply become irrelevant, because our collective consciousness will be so focused on finding that balance. And I always say these eclipses, they're the undertone for our story.
The
So
undertone for our story. Write it out, Kelly. That's a good one. Ah, yeah. I will quote you on that. Just going to
thank you.
say. Yeah. So I have labeled it's of legal importance, visions of legacy and legalities. And I feel like, because Neptune is such a big player in both of these eclipses, fate and karmic ties with the nodes being, of course, affected, not exact by any means, but still present, even though out of sign. So, what I've been getting is that we're going to have more playmates coming out to play. The fairies showed up here. They always show up I always look forward to Virgo season because they always show up around Virgo season. And they're like little bitty sprite mites. They're like literally this big. But I can hear them talk. And they said, this will be the time that we come out, but more people will see us this year than ever, and I'm like, awesome. That's fabulous. But I feel like too that these powerful eclipse, which, the Libra eclipse is ushering in the closure of the relationship drama, trauma, dharma that the entire collective has been going through. And it's going to be like, okay, the judge hits the gavel and now, you're completely divorced and you're good to go, or whatever, you can move on to your next path. You can take your next journey. But that Pisces eclipse is like, oh, we're just giving you a little taste of what's to come, because we have 18 years of eclipses in Pisces and in Virgo now, crisis in 3D reality and crisis in consciousness. That's the crisis axis, but it's also breaking out of the crisis to be able to, just break through and have understanding of who you are at a very deeper soul level, that everyone is the same.
Well, this has been going on. I've been telling my tribe of people that when Jupiter took over the reins from Saturn in 2020, that it's been going through its process. The last time Jupiter was in Aries was the coronation. As all these other planets pass into Aries, they're getting, their new upgrades, their new, 0.0 or 0.2 or 0.3 or 0.4. But
Mm-hmm.
Saturn and Neptune, OMG, are going to cross over into Aries at the same exact time, 0 degrees.
I get chills. I get so excited. Go ahead. Keep going.
So this is like, I got chills everywhere,
I know.
and I'm emotional, but this to
Oh.
me, this is the final movement where everybody gets their new jobs except for Pluto. But Pluto's job is to be in Aquarius, so that we don't get stuck in duality and we
Yeah.
only accept the facts. And quantum computing, AI, all
Mm-hmm.
these things are
I'm
new
call
tools for humanitarianism.
I'm calling Pluto the AI lord of the underworld.
Right?
Yeah. So, like, seriously, can you get that vision? Because I've already been seeing it multiple times. I have a vision of me and I'm in a lab. It's a universal lab. I've had this, I don't know, probably started around 2015 when I started diving deep into my astrological studies. And yeah, I have this lab. And it's like, I asked Pluto, I said, am I the AI lord of the underworld? And he's like, oh, maybe you might be. He's kind of like this smart ass, wacky Einstein, Tesla type, but a complete blue being. Like, he's a complete blue being.
With
And
corny sense of humor.
yes, oh yes. The lives last night, the guides were hysterical. Stuff that was coming out of my mouth, I don't even want to go listen back to those videos. I don't even want to go there because sometimes it just happens and it's funny. You're supposed to laugh. That's the highest frequency, is to get that joy going. When you're working in spirituality, bringing in that spiritual frequency of laughter and joy and amusement is really the best way to do it, in my opinion. But yeah, sorry to get you off track, but I love the whole thing with Pluto stepping back and then stepping forward. That's going to be a lot of, I've got clients that are like 2-degree Aquarius, 0-degree Aquarius, and
They're
I'm
all
like,
being active.
yes, every activation is a trigger and every trigger is an
Mm-hmm.
activation.
But one thing that Aquarius has to do that Aquarius does not like to do is speak from the heart.
That's true.
They can't deflect anymore. They have
Yeah,
to
no.
come to start their sentences with I feel instead of I think. And this is a tough transition for the Aquarius energy. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this
Mm-hmm.
is the harmony that's coming from this new paradigm. And they have to allow it to happen, just like all of us have to surrender and allow. We have to surrender everything we thought we needed to let the things that we've always been meant to have in. And we're going to see a lot more of this. The people who get it. I mean, even my friend David had to lose every freaking thing.
I know.
He had to do it himself, and we all have to do it ourselves. He wanted help. He wanted help. He knew that it wasn't going to happen. That it was up to him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just like it was up to me when I had to totally reassemble my entire life over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And every one of you out there. We're not alone. We're not alone.
That's
And
right.
even though the SAFA mission over the last, I don't know, 5 decades has been a tough one, we were not alone anymore. And we need to get outside and come together so that we can see those little tiny fairies and see all the other beautiful beings that are alive in the multiverse.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that we are expanding so much through this year and next year. All of the outer planets going to air and fire by 2026 is going to be quite a different world. I feel like by the end of 2026, going into 27, we're really going to start to feel a leveling out and then I see solidified on this new paradigm, top it off they've prophesized 3032. I've heard of that, but I feel like it's more going to be, I think it's going to be 2029, but some people are saying 2030, to when we really are at this place of, okay, everyone's awake, who's going to wake, and everyone's going to have more awareness, and there's going to be less hate and less of this, because this next 2 years for me, what I understand through my channel is that there's just going to be a whole lot of this in the matrix surfacing in order to, of course, being transmuted and understood. But so, like, for instance, like, I'll give an example. My daughter, she doesn't speak to me as of like almost 2 years now. And the reason being is because most of y'all know this, it's not a secret, is because of what I do and who I am. She doesn't understand it. I still love her. I hold space for her. I love her from where she's at, period. That's it. And I have to wait and hold space to see if she's going to understand that this is not of the dark. This is not dark energy. I'm not doing dark things. So I'm just using that as a small slice of an example of what's happening to the whole. There's a lot of, this split, this division, this insanity, going on to just shake us all up, to wake us all up. The more insane it is, the more awake people are going to be, right? I don't know if you got anything on any of that. So.
Yeah, I do. One of the components to all this, because of Pluto going to Aquarius, are the facts. And we've spent all this money for scientific studies on different things, from anthropology to oceanography to, global climates to everything. And the information is coming back. One of the marvelous pieces of information is our real human story.
Yeah.
And by 2029, we're going to be really on top of our game, because we're going to understand our human story has nothing to do with the old paradigm's narrative. Our human story is much more vast than that. And, I've been studying this stuff my whole life. It's actually a part of my third book, Lightning Vajra Hidden Doorway, in my Soulkiss trilogy. But yes, come on, guys. We all know we're aliens. We all know we lived underground for a while. We all know that.
Come on, guys.
But there's going to be proof. And the proof is, this evidence is indisputable.
That's so good.
Right?
That's so good. That was awesome. Okay. On that note, well, we are. I mean, I get it. Like, you're knocking my socks off. You're knocking my booty off. I got little booties on my feet because my feet get cold. Anyway, so yeah, we're all aliens. You heard it here first. Period.
We're gonna unravel it. I mean, come on. All the indigenous creatures, they don't get sick.
No,
we do.
That's true. Do. Yeah, and the advancements that are coming up in like human healing. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. I've got this Aragon frequency wand face thing that I can like shoot these frequencies into my skin. I just started using it like 2 weeks ago, and my skin has improved. I've had hormonal acne after I turned 50. And so, yeah, I mean, there's just so much I'm looking forward to. Like, there's certain things that I want to get, and then I'm like, no, I'm gonna give Pluto a chance. I'm gonna let him move. I need to let Pluto move up to like that 2nd degree of Aquarius before I pull the trigger on that. Because like the advancements in the next 2 years are going to be mind freaking blowing.
By 2029, come on. We're going to be settled into this new paradigm, and it's going to be exponential, because we're not going to be dealing with rhetoric or duality or any of that kind of nonsense. We're just going to be looking at how we can make this blue jewel the most shiniest jewel in the universe.
I also feel like our chakra energy centers, this is another message that came through here recently. It was like, okay, everything in technology is going to be more advanced, but remember, you're the most advanced technology there is. And so what I'm seeing now, rather than the traditional circles of colors that go up and down, I'm seeing it in one whole wave that comes through the body, and it goes from one side to the other, and then it starts at this side. I'm going to have to sit down with an artist. I'm not the greatest artist, but I need to sit down with another person to just it is an artist because this has been really interesting. It's like the way we have had our chakra energy centers portrayed to us is not the way it will be. It's more like one whole thing that's kind of like taken over the etheric field that's around us. That's something else that has come through very, very strong.
The best our ancestors could do until we caught up. I mean, we just barely caught up to this idea of the quantum universe, and the Buddhists have had 13 dimensions. Our physics scientists have got 12 right now, and they're like going, woohoo! But,
Right.
this is so brand new. And we're getting it fast. We're getting it fast. Now, there's so much information about quantum that we're starting to go, oh yeah. And the one result that I'm seeing from this new exponential growth is we're listening.
Right. Right. So Tammy Lynn, my sister out of Canada, she sings me this song, and it's always in my brain. And she says, "Listen, listen, honey, listen, listen." And it's so important that we listen, listen, because it's really time to listen, Yeah.
I mean, if men can just get this one, I think we'll really move exponentially.
Yeah. Totally. Totally.
It really
So,
takes being present and being in the moment and being centered and and surrendering and allowing and just like taking it in
mhm,
instead of being too
yeah.
busy and your mind's in 12 different places and you're looking on this social media and that social media and you're stuck on TikTok. No, go out, meet up with people and listen to each other.
Mhm. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to step into that more. I am not going to lie. I've been very hermity this past year, but I've also been recovering quite a bit. And two, I work a lot. I work a lot. I work a lot. And so that I'm trying to balance more. I feel like if we could all learn to balance, and I know it sounds so cliche, but it's really balance some play. It's just like, if you are taking 1/3 of your income and putting it in a savings or putting it in crypto or wherever you're putting it, your nest egg. Well, I don't care. Put it in your underwear drawer, whatever. If you're taking that much and you're putting it aside, it's the same thing with your playtime, your energy. It's like take that same amount and put that time aside. Schedule it into your calendar if you have to. I do. This is my playtime. And I can do whatever I want with this playtime. I can go out and visit friends. I could go have a bite to eat. I can go eat ice cream by myself if I choose. I can do whatever I choose. I could sleep. I'm not gonna kid. 9 times out of 10, I'm like, I got to sleep because I'm so tired a lot because of the energy. Just the
The
energy
last
wipes me out.
years, I think we've all been like in bed sleeping. The universe loves two things that humans do: sing and dance. So add that to your playtime list because singing and dancing, oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
when the universe is like going woohoo, woohoo.
I was dancing around with my guides in the bathroom this morning.
See?
I'm very okay, so I have a lot of Greek in this bloodline of this physicality, even though I haven't been on this planet very often. But I have a lot of Greek in this bloodline, and it's very revered, like my grandfather was reincarnated Tesla. True story. Um, like inventor, genius, extraordinaire, all of this. Anyway, he said, if you're gonna live, you need to live, and in that Greek heritage in me is always like, get up and dance, get up and move. But they're always like, do it in the bathroom because all of our ancestors were really revered the bathroom. And it's so crazy how I've got an altar set up in the bathroom and I take all these amazing salt baths with like 15 stones and all this. It's just so much. My daughter once said, it seems like you're always about to take a self bath. And I'm like, well, I take more baths than I do showers. I might shower once or twice a week, but the rest of the time is a bath.
It's always
Anyway.
a bath for me too. I just put a clawfoot tub in one of my new houses on the property. So that, and we put a shower in that's on a tree. So you walk
Oh,
out into the shower and you're taking a shower with the tree.
wow. That's cool. That
It's
sounds
really
like I really like your new property from what I've seen so far from your videos. It seems like a wonderful place. I would like to ask everyone if you have a question for myself or for David, please put it in the comments now because we're getting to the towards the end, and this will be the little part where we'll be happy to answer any of your questions as we continue to talk. I'll keep my eye here on the chat. Let's see here. Tammy Lynn says, absolutely dance and sing. Yay. I'm so glad you're here.
Hi,
And
Tammy.
she says, yes, it is. We are restoring this within ourselves, original blueprint, as some might refer to it, a white pillar of light. And Donna says, outside blowing bubbles. Beautiful.
Yay. Yay.
I mean,
That's
really.
our inner child. That's the little girl that wants to come out and play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let her
And
play.
and these astrological energies in Pisces is that innocent child, you know. It is that naivete. It is stepping into, you know, even if you're going through tough stuff, even if you're going through tough challenges, even if it's strenuous and hard and heavy and difficult, give yourself, you know, take that 25% of your day to just step into that innocence of Pisces energy, acknowledging that we are in an eclipse and in a Piscean eclipse, acknowledging that this is 12th house energy. This is serious leaving the body type of energy. Excuse me. My nose not bleeds, but runs when I channel. And it's starting to come. So it's like stepping into the prophecy of the innocent one, understanding that the innocent one is all beings, and remembering that we're not humans. We're not humans beings. We're spiritual beings having this experience, right? And this is just a flesh suit, but to honor it as your vessel to travel and explore an adventure like a Sagittarius, a master Sagittarius would, like David.
I've been all over the world, and I got to tell you,
You have.
it is just a cherished experience to see all these wonderful souls, and our innocence is really our nobility, and it's not the kind of innocence framed in the old paradigm view. It's a kind of innocence that is just you know experiential, like Sagittarius, that just wants to experience everything with wonder and joy, and that's beautiful. It's like this compassion that we're all that's welling up in us is not everybody gets a trophy compassion.
Right.
It's the compassion of just seeing things plainly as they are. And
Mm-hmm.
Pisces, even though Pisces is always going through a struggle, they are learning from that struggle, and they genuinely understand that our human lexicon is emotional.
Mm-hmm. 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 Everything begins and ends with emotion.
That's
Everything is beginning. Every sickness, every illness, every thought, every experience, every communication, it begins with a emotional energy signature. And all of that can be attained through connecting through the source of all creation, the source of who you are, your original. I often say, I'm only connecting to my original soul's creator. People are like, are you talking to God? Are you talking to creator? Who's it? Source? Who is it? I'm only talking to the original creator of my soul. Whoever that is, that's who I'm talking to.
I love you so much. You just know how to frame things in the most down to earth, very clear, uh, reasonable, logical, but emotional way that I call human.
Mm-hmm. Michelle says, we are beings, not brings. Oh, I get it. She's correcting herself. She said, we are not human beings. We are human. Hugh man. Oh, she's doing the Hugh and the man thing. I don't even like, honestly, I've been, and thank you, Michelle, for your comment. Honestly, I feel like we're not human. I don't feel human. I don't even want to claim myself as a human. I am not human. I know for a fact I've not had many lifetimes here. And I have clear, original memories of the planet that I lived on. And I think I've had other planets, pretty probably show, but I only have memory of one. And that was
Uh,
given to me 4 years ago.
I have very, very clear memories and of all of that too. And, we will all remember these things if you haven't already, but I feel that under our breath, we all have this common story that we
Mm-hmm.
all understand. And we are humane and we are humanitarian. You
Yeah.
know, that may have nothing to do with being human, because if we're going to by what human is over the last several millennia during this patriarchal epic, we have not seen much human in
Mm-mm.
anything.
I just call myself Galactican.
That'll work. I've been all
Hey,
around.
I've got Saturn in Gemini, so I can make up words, and I'm pretty good at it.
Ah,
Tammy Lynn has a question. Oh, yes, this is a good one. What makes a good astrologer? David?
it's all about interpretation and being holistic. You just can't go, oh, your Saturn's here, so that means that, or it's like having all these vitamins on in a list, and no one's saying what they do synergistically together. And that's what makes a good astrologer, to be able to interpret the synergy between everything that's happening now, and especially to identify you, and then how the transits relate to you in your story, and being able to interpret that is really the crown.
Mm-hmm. I think being a good astrologer means that you listen, and that you also really lead with that integrity of. So I'll be honest with you, when I first started, I went to school, practice for like 3 years, and then I started my practice. And I think it's important that if you don't know, you just come through and say, hey, look, I don't know this, but you know what? My guides are going to find out, and I'm going to research that for you. And I did about 2-3 years of that before I really started getting where I'm rolling now, and I'm always booked out.
That's
Um,
typical.
but I
That's typical.
think it's important that someone who, maybe it's somebody who's wanting to become an astrologer. They're wanting to learn. A lot of the people that come to me, because I teach as I go. I give homework to my clients. It's like, okay, I want you to look at this and text this, and then I'll get with you in the next quarter, and we'll see where you're at. I think it's important that you approach it authentically with integrity. But I also think a good astrologer is going to make you continually think and expand upon, because that is genuinely your blueprint of your soul. It tells so much of what happened in maybe previous timelines, which we're using linear time frames, parallel timelines, and future timelines. I feel like it's just being very integral, but also teaching. I like to teach, and that's what I think makes a good astrologer. If you're teaching and they're learning, and then eventually they don't have to come to me, because maybe they become amazing astrologers, and I can get on to the other folks that I'm having a hard time getting in, because I have a lot of regulars that come back. But yeah, I think integrity, authenticity, and teach.
Well, North Node in Sagittarius, along with my rising and sun and
Mhm.
29 degrees Sagittarius, my life has been about teaching. But
Yeah.
my Aquarius Aunt Dolores from Union Wood in Iowa in
Uh-huh.
1969 said, "Now, David, I get these magazines called the Astrologer. I think
Ah!
you just might be interested in one of them." So I got that.
Wow.
Not long after that, I got Linda Goodman's sun sign. And
Oh.
then it was like, and there's moon signs? But understanding the stories in the houses is really, the beginning of getting this great language, and in your
Mhm.
heart, so that you can
Mhm.
speak with integrity and speak, this truth that is beyond any kind of mental conjuring. It just
Mhm.
comes through us because we got all these stories, and it's so obvious to us. Is after years and years and
Yeah.
years of practice. trials and errors and studying and all that. But it just, at some point, you just go, oh, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah.
Yeah. 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 And two, I think a good astrologer is always going to not stay focused on the mundane of your
Mhm.
reality. You know, I look at astrology as galactic wisdom. You know, I look at astrology as a way to understand yourself as part of the whole. So, yeah, looks like we have one more question. Let's see here. Hubby has a question up there, 3 comments up. Sorry, guys, all of you on both Facebook pages and YouTube, everything's coming through one chat. Let me see if I can find it. Troy. Hi, Troy. So glad
Hey,
that you're here. Nice. Hubby has a question. How would the eclipse affect someone with their Saturn return in Pisces? My natal Saturn return is conjunct Chiron retrograde in Pisces. My natal Saturn is 27 degrees.
you better let that shit out, man. Don't hold this stuff back. You just have a breakdown with somebody you trust and love. You got to
Yeah.
tell them everything that's been, giving you pain in your heart. I mean, ugh, I feel emotional just seeing the information. You got to let it out. Let this shit go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
my reading.
Let it out. Let it out. You know, expurge and realize that this is a process. You know, you're going to be expurging. I don't know where that word came from, but I don't even know if it's a real word, but you're expurging things that are going to end up solidifying later, and your heart is becoming activated in order that the divine feminine rises more within your masculinity. You're very good with your masculine, aren't you, Troy? You're very good. But you need to embrace more of that divine feminine and then embodied it so that you can be more well rounded. But yeah, this is going to be some fuckery time for you. Sorry to say, but you're going to end up okay. Just know that the ups and downs may be a little bit rocky. You may have a little bit of stuff. There may be some outside interferences that cause, some serious pain.
And don't think people can read your mind. You have to sit down like an adult and articulate what you're feeling and
Yeah.
ask for help.
Yeah. That's true. That's Saturn in Pisces for sure. And the other thing about Saturn in Pisces is that often you're going to want to feel like you're disciplined in everything that doesn't make sense. Like there may be all kinds of mental confusion that lands on your heart, and that, you feel like you got to continuously push forward and push forward. And I feel like some of this is just being channeled, but you feel like you're continuously pushing forward and pushing forward. It's almost like the 9 of Wands card in the tarot. That is the hero card that never gives up, So you'll get through this. It'll be all right.
But
Trust
giving up
me.
is kind of giving up. Giving
Yeah.
up is like surrendering
Yeah.
your heart and just allowing people who love you in.
Mm-hmm. Allow, surrender, but also
Remember.
realizing that this has been a long, long journey and you have to remember everything that you've learned along the way. Okay, do we have any more questions? Because we're getting towards the end here. Karen says, I'm an Aquarius, but how do I find out what house I am? DM me on that and I'll help you, Karen. Just send me a direct message on Facebook and I'll help you.
We need the time.
Okay. It says, I'm loving this combo so much. I'm going to have to catch the rest on replay. I've got a session. Sending much love. Thank you. We love you.
Thank
Love
you,
you.
Raymond.
Try. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, I think this has been fun. You want to do it again sometime?
Well, like I told you last night when I looked at our composite charts together,
Uh-huh.
I
Uh-huh.
was like, we should have been doing this a long time ago.
Yeah, I think we've actually been doing it a long time ago in other lifetimes because there's such a heart resonance and a heart connection, especially with both of our moons being like right on top of each other, same degree. Like, I was like, wow. I was like, I did not realize. I love Sagittarius energy a lot, but I feel I have a lot of Sag in me.
You do.
But but I adore Aries energy too. And I was like, oh my God. I'm not even kidding you. Like, probably 3 of my closest best friends are like Aries moon signs, and they're right at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 degrees, right in that first decan. Isn't that crazy?
It is, but it's that the power to create, the power to be innovative and take this and that and put it together, make something new. It's just exciting, especially with your moon sign being Aries like mine. It's
Yeah.
just like we love the creative process.
Yes, we live for it. Like I have
Mhm.
to like my whole house is an eclectic crazy house. It's just like there's so many different things everywhere. People come in and like, "What happened?" I'm like, "I kind of got crazy." With the whole, like there's so much art and planets and weird stuff, and it's just like it's the Sparkle Shack itself is alive. It's so alive. Okay.
Certainly.
Oh, we have one more question from Amy Ulrich, who is one of my dear sisters and moderators on Facebook. Last question, guys. Why are eclipses on the nodes so life changing?
Well, the nodes have to do with our destiny and fate,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when it's being activated by an eclipse of any kind, it is like saying, "Hello, remember you have a mission and cause here."
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens? Our awareness, even though it may be difficult processing it, it's still inside of us, and our higher selves are churning the information and bringing the answers to the surface. So that's what makes it life changing.
Mm-hmm. And remember, the nodes are what helps astrologers to understand and know when the eclipses are going to happen. The nodes are the North and South node, or Rahu and Ketu. Okay. The nodes, they often jump into the year, our Gregorian calendar year, twice a year, but sometimes have been known to do it more than twice a year. It's important to know that your life shift happens when the nodes are closest to the actual degree of that eclipse. This one, it's not as close. I think it's like it's at 6 degrees, and then the eclipse is at 20,
Three. The moon,
23.
yeah, the moon's at 23.
The lunar, okay, but the solar is closer, I think it is. I was thinking solar for some reason. But anyway, you see what I'm saying? When they're even in separate signs, when the nodes are closer, I feel like there's more of an impact. That's just been my personal experience. But as they're kind of separate signs, even though, they're kind of far apart, 9 degrees is my orb. 3 degrees is 3 degrees is tight, 9 degrees is a wide orb, but still conjoined, but separate sides. How would you explain that? I'm curious just to know how you would explain that, because the moon is in Pisces with Neptune, and the north node is in Aries at 6 degrees, right on top of my moon sign. So how would you it's a split sign, I get that, but how would you interpret that?
Well, what's happening to you right now? You're going through a catharsis, and it's an emotional one. And you are like coming to terms with a lot of karma, not only ancestral karma, but your
Mm-hmm.
family with your
Mm-hmm.
kids, and
Mm-hmm.
you're like going, okay, I did my job. You're here, okay. Now it's time for me to do my job and complete my mission in my cause here in this
Mm-hmm.
lifetime. So
Mm-hmm.
you're really making that transition, and being a parent, I know I have a son, it's like during some of my ceremonies, where you have to surrender everything, we're not going to surrender our kids for nothing. We're not, we're not going to detach from our kids. But,
Exactly.
but we have to detach in some ways. And that's what you're going through. And that's what the universe is telling you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
happening to you because
Mm-hmm.
you have a big mission and cause on this world, and we need every drop of you.
Thank you. Okay. I love you. That's going to be our show today. Thank you, guys. We're going to do it again. We'll do it again. Very good. Thank you so much for the moderators and all of the people who joined on the live, and those of you who are on the replay. Don't forget Quantum Synchronicity. Go and look and follow his page. He has a new page, a new show that he's doing. I do believe your partner was in here early in the chat. Um, What's her name again? I'm sorry.
Eben Larson.
Even Larson. Yes, she's a lovely, lovely galactic sister. I'd
Oh
like
my
to meet
God,
her.
she's so beautiful. I love her to pieces,
Yes.
and she's really, you know, our story of meeting is like our story of meeting is just so much synchronicity around it,
Yeah.
and realizing, oh my God, I've known you forever,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
we're here doing this quantum synchronicity to help people process this new view that we're all acquiring. And
she's a quantum psychologist.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Awesome.
and there's not
I
many
didn't
of those.
quite get the degree, but I study psychology quite a bit. So I was really intrigued when I saw that. So cool.
She's
Awesome.
really
Awesome. Well, look for David's books on Amazon, David Hauser's books on Amazon, and also be sure to tune in on Tuesday. We will have a live stream on Tuesday where we'll be talking about the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse to come. And don't forget to make sure you comment on this YouTube replay video to get your name into the $300 value drawing with Cat's Unity, the 6th generation tea leaf reader out of Corpus Christi, Texas. It could be you. This will be the last broadcast. This is your last chance to get your name in the drawing because on Tuesday, we're giving it away. All right. Got all that out there. Thank you, everybody. I see all the thanks. Thank you so much. Oh, sending so much love to all of you.
Thanks, Amy.
Yay. Thank you. And Kelly, I love you. Thank you for being a rock star mod. You really, really got my ass. Thank you. You always covering me. All right. David, I will talk to you here in a minute. You just hang out in the back, okay? All right. Love you guys. Walk in the light and spread the sparkle and oceans of love, right?
Oceans, oceans of love.